Joseph. If you look at the story of Joseph on Matthew, it looks like almost Joseph was like a afterthought on the story of Jesus. So, if I really try to put together the sequence, it looks like angel visits Mary and tells Mary, "Hey, you're going to have a baby, the Son of God, the God Himself, going to come and live inside you." Then and the angel says, like, "Hey, go and visit your relative Elizabeth," and she's already pregnant with the John the Baptist, right? And then Mary goes to visit Elizabeth, and then the sequence almost looks like Mary shows up back after 3 months, and then she tells to Joseph, "Hey, I'm pregnant with a child, but as per the angel, this is from God Himself." And now the story of Joseph, as a man, he has to provide and protect. He should have loved Mary so much for him to believe what she said and decided still to be with her, maybe divorce her quietly. And that's how the story of Joseph starts in the Matthew. But the biggest part is that before even Joseph knew he is going to be the father of the Son of God, here's the crazy part. The angel tells to Mary, "Hey, he, Joseph will be the adopted father, and he's going to adopt the God Himself, and who is going to adopt all the mankind for good." And it's such a crazy thing to think about. The lineage of Joseph is the David, and it says captures absolutely wonderfully. Oh, because his lineage is from David, he has to go back to Bethlehem where David was born. But here is a interesting part on the entire storyline. I think about all the time. So Joseph, Joseph did not even have a vision or a prophet or some Pharisee or some high priest showed up on his doorstep to say like, "Hey, you got to marry Mary." No, no, no. But instead he gets a dream. I will not believe anything that happens on a dream, but this guy should have trusted God so much. This is what I get to the story of Mary and Joseph. God looks at the heart of the person. God did not pick up somebody like a Billy Graham or any of those fancy preachers to be born in their house, nor he picked up some bishop or anything, right? Like he picks up, looks at the hearts of the people and picks up Mary and Joseph because they trusted God to the core. A dream is enough for Joseph to believe that what the baby is in Mary's womb, truly not Mary was cheating on him or cheated on him. It's just amazing. Okay, the story not just stops there, right? Like now it looks like Mary and Joseph know. Looks like they kept it as a secret. They don't want anybody else to know. Because everybody else would have known, again, Mary would have been stoned to death. That's what those laws were. And so he has to protect Mary, protect this, and he has to provide what is needed. He was kept on looking on with his life. And Luke too picks up the story amazingly. And there they make a decision to do a census, and he has to go back to his native place. Here is the interesting part. When angels saw Mary, there was no notation that Jesus will be born in Bethlehem and they should be going to Bethlehem. There is no description or explanation like that. And nor Mary would have told to his parents like, this has happened and this is going to be the all these stories. If any of those would have gone out, either Mary would have died or people would have made fun of Mary, or the reciprocation is crazy. Even in modern world today, if this would have happened, people will never be able to comprehend remotely. In modern world today, more questions will be there, more craziness. But coming back to the story, now Joseph decides, okay, I have to go to the census. I have to protect Mary. I'm pretty sure because Mary had long dresses, she was able to cover herself and keep this as a secret between these two. And somehow Mary goes along with Joseph. Even that is a little bit confusion for me. Even in modern world, or even in certain part of the world, even today, we don't let men and women to go together until they are really, really married. But in this story, it happens. And here is a crazy part. I'm just searching through this. This is super cool. We always portray as if Mary was in a donkey and Joseph was walking along. But just to clarify, Joseph was just a carpenter. He would not have had much money. Most of the people don't believe that he had enough money to have a donkey. But I don't even understand where Mary was riding on a donkey kept a picture, because none of the Bible even quotes anywhere close that Mary was on a donkey. Coming back to the storyline, so they go to 90 miles from where they are. It would have taken at least 2 to 3 days by walking. They make it. Of course, nowadays, if you live in a the country where I live in, you can cover 90 miles up and literally 90 minutes, a mile a minute in a car, but they did not have any of the features like that. They would have literally walked. And the Luke 2, it says like suddenly she ended up giving birth. Here is a bigger confusion I have on this entire storyline. If I go back to my native place, I will have some relatives to stay there. I will not be looking for a hotel room to stay. Here, Joseph is trying to find inn. The inn was not there, trying to provide a place for Mary to give birth. Eventually ended upon a manger. But all these story highlights only one thing. They're trying to keep it as a secret. Be a secret, make it a secret. And they go to Bethlehem, end up having a baby, and God makes it happen. This is what the timing of the God, you never know. You get along with the program since you already agreed and trusted God. On all these things, Joseph was an outstanding man. What he did on through and through, how well he has to trust God, how well he has to think about this. This is what the one point I want to drive this entire story and the life of Joseph to. He restricted himself. He gave away his freedom. He gave away his pursuit. He gave away his standard. He gave away his quality of life so that he can gain freedom in Christ, through Christ, in God. And today he is able to give the freedom to everybody else in the world. Today I have freedom simply because my man Joseph obeyed that day. Here is where the story is like converges and crazily. So they go from Nazareth to Bethlehem. If I'm going to go from my hometown right now, from US to my birthplace, India, I will come back to US because this is where my house is, where my belongings are, all these things are. But in the case of Joseph, there is no notation on the Bible, at least, or recorded where he went back to Nazareth. But instead, it shows as if he lived in Bethlehem itself, because it's all a cover up, the entire thing. Because Mary was given birth, they want to retain the status quo, so they stay there, and they did not even go to their relatives' house. That is itself very shady, because they want to again protect. And then here's where the thing is, right? When Jesus was about 2 years old, they end up going to Egypt, and then from Egypt they go to Nazareth. By the time Jesus was 5 years old, nobody will even ask a question whose child it is, how they how Mary got conceived of the child. All those things would have gone, because people those days would have saw them, okay, they're out there for 2 to 5 years, they would have had a child, we're all good. This is the best cover up I can think of in the modern world. But the core thing I want to drive is this. Often in our life, we have to restrict ourselves in any relationship so that we can free in the relationship. And that's what Joseph did. He restricted every one of himself. He gave up his native town, he gave up his job, he became a gypsy. He did everything within his power so that he can bring the freedom into his life through Christ, in God. And above all, he brought the freedom to you and me today. So this is the challenge I let you all have, right? Why don't you restrict your action and thoughts so that you can bring forth freedom into your life and into the people around you?